in Udine tomorrow night. I think it's 8 p.m. kickoff London time. And it is going to be one hell of a test for this Tottenham side. We saw last week against Bayern Munich. It's going to be a similar team that's out there for Tottenham Hotspur. And we got ripped to shreds by that Bayern Munich team. We really did. I know it's a pre-season, but it's the last pre-season before it all kicks off. And by that time, you're supposed to see the kind of way you're going to play in your first game. And if that game is anything to go by, I am absolutely petrified going into this game tomorrow. It's not even just that Bayern ripped us to shreds, but their kids came on and nobody heard of any of these players, and they came on and ripped us to shreds. Yeah. So I am worried going into this game. Obviously, Savinho and Eze, this is all a side point because they're not in the squad. They're not even Spurs players yet. So we're going with what we got. And the only real change I can see is Odegaard for Johnson out on the left wing. Apart from that, I think we're going to play exactly the same team. Yeah. Which we'll get into the predicted lineup a bit later.
Yeah, I think in terms of, obviously, first of all, I want to know from you, how big a game is this?
I think it's massive for me. It's a game that we haven't played. I don't think ever. Was the Super Cup even around when we won Europe last time?
New Super Cup's probably, I don't even think it's like, is it even 20 years old? Let me see.
I think it's the first time we're playing.
It's the first time we're playing, but how Super Cup winners? Let's see when the first Super Cup was. Okay, it's quite old. 1990?
Yeah, so...
No, 1973.
Oh, so we did play in it then.
So what, 80...
Oh, there wasn't a Super Cup in 85.
So the 1 year... No, but we won it in 72, didn't we? And then... It was Ajax, AC Milan in 73.
So there wasn't 74.
So maybe it wasn't the Europa League, Europa Cup versus Champions League winners.
Well, look, we've never played in it before.
No.
So for me, look, it might not be the most prestigious cup in European football. I think the Europa League and the Champions League are obviously way more prestigious. This is probably more prestigious than the Conference League. I'll put it like that. So I think it's a big night for Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's a big night for PSG as well, because when's PSG ever played in this tournament?
Must be their first time, because that was their first European trophy, wasn't it?
I think have they not won UEFA Cup before? This is the first time they won the Champions League.
Maybe they have won UEFA Cup. I don't know. Yeah, well, I think it's. I can't see that they've played. Yeah, oh no, they did. They 96.
In 96, they lost to Juventus.
9-2. Oh, it used to be 2 legs, the Super Cup.
But look, I think it's a really big game. For Tottenham, it's new territory, Champions League winners against Europa League winners. We want to take that good feeling from the Europa League win and put ourselves about and show that we're here to compete. That's what I'm trying to look for it. And at the end of it, if we win, it's a trophy, and it's not like people say it's like the Charity Shield or these friendly competitions. It's not. I think it's a massive step up from that. Particularly, it's much bigger than the Charity Shield, in my opinion, or the Community Shield that it's called now.
It's got prestige.
It does have prestige, and I think it's just a level below, like the tournaments that we face every year, the FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League, Europa League. So I think it's significant if we win it, and I think it sends a message to the rest of world football saying Spurs are here to play now.
I'm trying to see when the last time the Europa League winner actually won this. I think it looks like 2018. Atletico Madrid beat Real Madrid in the Super Cup. So that was quite a while. Usually the Champions League winners do win this game, which also kind of shows that they do take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who usually come out on top. They usually they're usually at their best. Whereas Charity Shield is a lot of the times the FA Cup winner who comes out on top.
It's worth noting though there is no extra time tomorrow night, so it goes straight to penalties if it's a draw. So I think that probably favours us.
Definitely, yeah. We don't want to go the deepest squad.
Does it not favour us because PSG, this is their first pre-season game? Are they going to be at peak fitness?
I think that is definitely an advantage. I think overall you don't want it to drag on the longer, because I think they've got a deeper squad and they can bring on players in extra time that we aren't going to be able to the same effect. So I think if you offered me penalties right now, I'd probably take it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But definitely the fact that this is their first game since the Club World Cup final. They've lost Donnarumma. Well, he's not in the squad, so they've got a keeper's going to be making their debut in this game. What's his name? João Neves. He's suspended, so they're going to have to find a solution to replace him as well.
Kangin or someone.
I don't know. Is all their players fit? You know, the front three: Doué, Dembele, Kavisha.
I think they're all in the squad. Yeah.
If they're all in the squad, yeah, we'll see what kind of condition they're in. After you got to remember they won the they got all the way to the Champions League final. They then had barely any break and then went all the way to the Club World Cup final, and losing 3-0 to Chelsea. So, what kind of condition they're going to be, and they've all been on their holidays. It's not, and by and large, it's not been the longest holiday. And how long they've been back in training for, I'm not even 100% sure. So, there is a case they could definitely be a bit rusty going into this game. They might, every team in their first pre-season game, there's usually quite a lot of rustiness and players getting back to full fitness and all these different things. So I think Tottenham should definitely be looking to take advantage of that. Does that mean do we be a bit more aggressive? Do we go a bit more of a high press rather than just sitting low at the start anyway and just see if we can catch them out early? And, that's what Chelsea kind of did. I know it was a different scenario, but Chelsea in the first 20 minutes just blitzed them and scored a couple of goals. And then actually, I think, they were 3-0 up by half time.
The problem is with that, we don't have the attacking talent that Chelsea had on show that day. They had Cole Palmer that was running things. Like, we've got no one close to that level in the forward line for us. You know? That's the issue with us. The only player I'm comfortable taking the pitch and starting this game is Mohamed Kudus. And I think maybe he can do that role for us and be the threat. But we need to be defence first. Like, if we do go and high press them early on, then it's a big chance that we just get picked off and be 1-0 down early. And if we are 1-0 down early, it could be a cricket score.
But what does Frank say? Not taking risk is also a risk.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's an opportunity early on to try and hit them and grab an early goal ourselves because they're potentially going to be rusty.
Yeah.
And I think that might, I think against a PSG side under normal circumstances, I would say it's not worth doing. But maybe on this occasion, it might be. I think that's kind of my thinking. Try and see if you can force a mistake out of them. See how rusty they really are. Test them a bit. Ask different questions of them. Don't just sit back and defend. Actually, go at them a bit early on and see if there's anything. If just press a few buttons. See what. Ask a few questions and see if anything comes out.
The thing is, right? If they're not, and if they're like 50%, 60%, they're still one of the best teams in European football with the forward players that they have in Doué and Kvicha and Ousmane Dembele and all these players, even Hakimi from right back with the goal contributions that he gets. I mean, they've got such unbelievable players. In a flash, before you even blink, they could be through on goal and 1-0 up. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I feel like against Bayern, that's what we did, and we got bad.
Yeah,
like we got. Look, I'm not saying we shouldn't defend properly or anything like that.
You expect that we're going to be a lot better than we were against Bayern.
Yeah, and hopefully maybe defend similar to how we did against Arsenal, but Arsenal's a different kettle of fish at the moment.
After the Bayern game, Frank says, "Look, I've learnt a lot. Good. It was good. I've learnt a lot this game," and he's going to take some of the lessons that he learnt in the Bayern friendly into this game.
And also should learn from how Chelsea played, because Chelsea, yes, they have great talent, but it was very much a tactical win as well. The way they exploited PSG's left-hand side ruthlessly, over and over again, long balls, long passes into that space.
You need the quality to do it.
Yeah, and Kudus, I'm not saying he's Palmer, but I'm just saying, can you get the ball to him and get him to hold up and exploit that space? If anyone can do it in our squad, it's going to be him. And I think that's not a bad tactic to try and do that. And not only that, they had Gusto relentlessly overlapping. You had Palmer inside, and they just ruthlessly attacked that zone. If you can get Porro and Kudus to try to do something similar on that side, that's something to try and learn from. Obviously, maybe PSG would have learned from that as well, but the reality is they've not been in training for that long. So how much could they have worked on fixing that issue in time for this game? I think that's something we got to learn from the way Chelsea did. But the thing Chelsea did as well was they were very compact and they were very defensive resolute.
They were clinical, man.
And they were very clinical, but they're also, making sure that I can't remember too many click opportunities PSG actually created in that game. I think they were very defensively resolute, Chelsea. So obviously you're going to have to be that if you're going to get through this game.
Out on the left-hand side for them, it's going to be Kvicha against Porro.
Yeah.
That is going to be one hell of a battle. And on the right-hand side, probably Doué against...
hopefully
against,
Destiny.
Spence.
Yeah,
I think Spence starts.
Yeah, Spence,
I think Spence starts. Yeah, I mean, in terms of from a defensive aspect, do you prefer Spence to start or a Doggy to start? I might prefer Spence to start. I think Spence is a better one-on-one defender than a Doggy.
I think if fitness isn't an issue, I go with the Doggy. But the fact is, a Doggy's not he's not come. He's sorry, he hasn't played for a while. Hasn't had a preseason. So if I doubt he's 100%. I'll be shocked if he is, unless he's being saved for this game. So I think you just got to go.
I'm
with
more
Spence.
than comfortable with playing Spence.
I'm happy with Spence. Although Spence wasn't great against Bayern, was he? He had a few problems, but
True.
Again, against Coman. But I think hopefully against Doué will be different.
And it's not just Doué; it's Hakimi as well.
In terms of Dembele, the form he was in. Going into the back end of last season, the kind of striker he is that good or bad thing for Romero and Van de Ven to be facing?
I'm not too sure, but I can see a really intense battle from him and Cuti Romero on the pitch. He's super quick, Ousmane Dembele. In a flash, he can get in behind you. He's a clinical finisher as well. Such a dangerous player. He really is. And Romero is going to have such a big task in his hands, and I really hope he doesn't go into it with the same mentality that he had against Bayern Munich, because he was so rash against Bayern. He literally had all his eyes on Harry Kane, and he was going in on him harder and harder and harder, and could have been sent off 2 or 3 times. So we need, like in the Newcastle game, a bit more composure from Cuti Romero. Lead the team out, lead by example, and don't be too rash.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the kind of striker Dembele is, I think Romero will be looking at him, and in a way he'll be licking his lips at the fact that I think I can dominate this guy easily, right? He knows he's physically going to be able to dominate him, and he's going to be able to make sure that if he gets close to Dembele, he can win the ball off him and all that kind of stuff. But in a way that could be his undoing, because the fact that Romero, will he respect Dembele physically, in a sense that sometimes he's going to have to stand off him, and he can't always just keep going at him and keep trying to win the ball back and keep trying to always step in first, being in that mode, because I feel like he'll be confident enough to keep doing it. But Dembele is a smart guy, and it'll just take one moment for him to play around him.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And then he's an on goal. And I think Dembele will back himself to find that moment. Even if early on he gets a couple of whacks, he won't mind that, Dembele. He'll know that just one moment, he gets ahead of Romero and he flicks it past him, and he's in trouble.
That's pretty much what happened in the 2 legs against Arsenal. He just found a couple of moments in each of those games, and he showed his quality.
And he was a killer.
Yeah, absolute killer. So that's what you got to contest with Ousmane Dembele. And by the way, what an unbelievable kind of few years it's been for him. Since being an outcast of Bayern Munich, going to PSG has given him a new lease of life, and now he's one of the best strikers in world football. Yeah. Unbelievable coaching there from the PSG coach and
Enrique.
And Luis Enrique. So I don't know. I just don't know how we go through this game and not get battered.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest problem I kind of see, midfield, I don't know how we win that battle. I know João Neves. Who's going to come in for João Neves, do we think? PSG.
It could be Lee Kang-in.
Squad. Because it could be him or Zaire Emery, potentially. So there'll definitely be Ruiz and there'll definitely be Vitinha. Those two are pretty nailed on. So it's either... Trying to look.
How do you go about winning a midfield battle with those two in the midfield?
That's the thing. It could be Zaire Emery.
How'd you do it? We're going to have Bentancur, João Palhinha. Is he going to play? Because if João Palhinha plays and he plays anything like he did against Bayern Munich, he's going to get rings around him.
And because the scary thing is, you look at the Bayern game and they had a midfield 3 of Goretzka, Kimmich and Olise. And they just found it ridiculously easy to play for our midfield. Mm-hmm. We were chasing shadows. And these guys are even tougher to press and even tougher to win the ball off. So if we can handle those 3, I don't know how we're going to handle the PSG. I actually think João Neves is a massive miss, to be fair, because he's such a little... you think you can it's a bit similar to Modric. You underestimate him because he's a bit smaller and you think he's weak, but he's far from it. He's very strong and he's technically phenomenal. And so he's actually quite a big miss, but Zaire Emery is pretty good replacement for him, I would say. Vitinha and Ruiz, phenomenal.
Fabian
talent.
Ruiz is actually such a goal threat as well.
Yeah.
But Vitinha, oh my God, this guy just does not lose the ball. He literally just never loses the ball. Like how are we supposed to contend? I was watching a video from Fogden. I don't know if you saw it. He was at the Club World Cup watching a PSG game. I can't remember who it was against. And he did this little video, and it was like, I'm not going to speak until Vitinha loses the ball. And he didn't speak till the 90th minute.
It's crazy.
He did not lose the ball all game until the 90th minute.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. So I don't know how our midfield contends with it, even if Paulinho was at his best, which I don't know if he will be on Wednesday.
Do you start Paulinho?
Yeah, that's a big question as well. I guess we'll cover it in our lineup, but I don't know, because he didn't look like his best against Bayern.
He has had another week of training behind him, though.
But he has, so maybe he's caught up to speed, but he looked off the pace. But then if you don't start him, do we have enough experience in that midfield? Do we have enough real strength in there as well? That's also,
but it's not strength if he plays like he did against Bayern.
Yeah, of course. But if he's getting closer to full fitness, then you're going to need him. But he wasn't good enough against Bayern. If we get that Paulinho, there's no point. Tough decisions. Then forward line as well. Like, I think Kudus, not just quality wise, but also his position is going to be the one where you're looking to hurt them. But if it's going to be Johnson or Odebear or Solanke up front, or I think probably Richarlison, I'm not confident of getting any spare change out of their defence at this point as well.
It is a really worrying and scary prospect. Like, when's the last time Spurs have faced someone in a big game like of this quality? Like, I don't remember the last time. What was it? Probably when we faced Real Madrid, when Ronaldo was there, Cristiano.
Well, we've played City in the Champions League, maybe.
True, City.
So we beat them. Liverpool in the final, they were an unbelievable team then.
I think this PSG side are better than that Liverpool team.
I think so.
In that moment in time when Liverpool, because at that point
that was peak Klopp.
But it was just before they'd won the league and stuff.
Yeah, but they lost the league. They lost the league on like 97 points or something.
It's true.
And they beat Barca 4-0 in the semis after losing 3-0. I wouldn't say it's crazy to say that this team is better because they were amazing last season, but I don't think it's far off.
It would be an unbelievable game between that Klopp team.
It would be.
That would be a crazy game to watch.
Do you think if we hadn't had this Bayern friendly, we'd be a bit more confident that we could do something?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think this Bayern friendly knocked us a little bit because we looked defensively sound for the most part, albeit the Newcastle game was a bit of a step back. We saw us concede a few chances, but the Bayern game was just very worrying. Very worrying. Like, they just dominated us. They walked through us. They were creating chances at will, and 4-0 completely flattered us. So if we go into it with any sort of the same traits, it could be double digits, literally. Like, that's how good this PSG side are.
Be interesting to see what kind of condition they are, how seriously they're going to take it. Like, obviously, I'm sure they're going to take it seriously on the day, but in terms of their preparation for this game, like, did players come back early from holiday to get ready, or is it a case of like they've achieved what they've achieved and they took their holiday and they only came back a week or something before this game? And
this is a pre-season game for them.
Is this a pre-season game, or is this like a real competitive opportunity to win a trophy for them? It's going to be interesting to see the mentality going into it. Would you be devastated if we lost this, or is it kind of like if we lose, we lose? Look,
I would have been a lot more devastated if we lost the Europa League final than losing this. I know full well we're going into this as massive underdogs, So if we win, it means a lot more than if we lose, if you know what if that makes sense. I think if we win it, it's so significant because of the team that we're playing against, and we get a trophy at the end of it. But if we lose, it's kind of like what we're all expecting, really, and what, like, when you're judging on the calibre of the two teams, particularly with the lineup that Spurs are going to have out there, it's, if you play this game 9 times out of 10, probably 9 times. If you play this game 10 times, probably 9.5 times PSG win it, maybe even 10.
So this is Frank's first competitive game as Tottenham manager. If he wins a European trophy, Is he instant legend status?
I always win things in my first game, mate.
Is that instant legend status?
Nah, you're not a legend for winning the Super Cup, I don't think.
You're not a legend. It's a European trophy. Not a legend for winning a European trophy.
It is a European trophy by very definition, but it's not like it's not of the same stature, like I said before, of the Europa League or a Champions League.
But if, like, you know, down the line, if he wins this, you know, this is a list of do you count this as like one of the trophies he's won? You know what I mean? Like,
it's counted, but I don't think, you know, when we're talking about the managers that have won European trophies, Bill Nick, Ange, Keith Birkinshaw, I don't think you'll be rolling off Thomas Frank on that list because of a Super Cup.
Is he judged at all on it? Like, let's say he wins this, like, but the season overall isn't as good as it maybe we expect. Like, does this count towards him, like winning, like this competition, winning it? Does like he have any judgment on this game, win or lose?
Depends if you like Frank or not.
Right. I'm just trying to.
Depends if you're a fan or not a fan. If you hate Frank by the end of the season, it's not going to make a difference to you. If you love him, you're going to use it.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to.
Yeah. I think that's.
I mean, I think in general that is, but like, do you? That's probably true. But I just wondering, in the club's estimation, does this game or this trophy have any bearing on how he's judged over the season?
Well, I mean, our last manager got sacked after winning the Europa League, so I don't think this game's gonna be judged on their whole performance at the end of the season. He's going to be properly judged on the league performance, domestic cups, and how we do in the Champions League, and then after that, you can start talking about the Super Cup.
So let's say we finish fifth.
Here we go with the hypotheticals.
If we finish fifth and have won this trophy, is that do you count that as like top 5 in a trophy? Is that how you see the season?
Do I see it as top 5 in a trophy? I probably will say it's top 5 in a trophy, to be honest, because I'm shameless like that. But, it's not, like I keep saying, I don't know how much more clear I can make it. It's not a significant trophy, but it's a good thing to win.
If we finish fifth and Arsenal finish second, but we win this and we had a better season than Arsenal.
Yes.
All right, we got to win this. We have to win this, people. We have to win this.
But look, we just got to find something tomorrow night. We just got to find something. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Yeah,
I really don't know how we're going to do it tomorrow night, but we have to find something.
I have to say, if it does go to penalties, the fact they don't have Donnarumma, I don't know how good the new keeper is at penalties, but I know Donnarumma was bloody good at penalties. You know, think back to the Euros, find out how good he was. So if they don't have him, you know, does that give us a bit more of a chance in penalties, I guess, without Donnarumma?
Well, I can't really say that until we see the new keeper play. So it's a hard one. But Donnarumma is obviously unbelievable at penalties. So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We'll have to wait and see. But like you said before, if you give me penalties right now and I can fast forward time and be there in the penalty shootout, I'll take it.
Yeah,
hands down. Hands down.
Big one.
So it's going to be a nervy kind of time before the game. I'm sure the Spurs fans are going to be there in their numbers, and I'm sure it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere from the Spurs fans and the PSG fans. They're going to come in their numbers as well. Small stadium, 25,000, Udinese Stadium. It's also the birth city of Vicario. He's going back to his hometown. So they're saying we're on home turf tomorrow night.
Exactly. So Vicario is going to be the hero.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I think this game is actually. He was talking. I saw an interview with him talking, saying it's such a special thing for him to go and play with Spurs in his hometown of Udine. It's going to be a big occasion, a really big occasion, and I'm just hoping, I'm praying, Spurs turn up. I really do, and I think if we can get like a here we go before kickoff, that will also put a bit of a spring in the step of the Spurs fans. But I've got no doubt that. The vibes are going to be absolutely immaculate tomorrow from the Spurs fans.
Be in full voice. The atmosphere is going to be great.
It's going to be good to get back in it as well, because obviously we haven't been. Well, you were out in Korea, but it's not the same. Like
no, it's not a competitive game.
First competitive game since that we've been to since the Europa League final. Well, I went to the Brighton game, but that wasn't much of a game. So I'm going to say the first game since the Europa League final. So 2 European trophy finals back to back.
A lot has changed since then.
What's your score prediction?
I am going to go... I think it's going to be 1-0 PSG.
Is that it? Just 1-0?
1-0. I think they're going to be rusty. I think they're going to be coming into their own, and it's going to be difficult for them to be at their very best. But I don't think they're going to have to be at their very best to beat us. I think they'll get a goal, and I think without the signings of Savino and Eze in time for this game, obviously, if they do happen at all, I think we're really going to struggle to really hurt them. I think we're going to have a few half chances. We're going to miss them. They're going to find it easy to keep us at bay, and they're going to get a goal, and it's going to be 1-0, and it's going to be Kavisha. Yep.
I am going to go for... I've spent all stream saying we're going to get battered and we got no chance. But I'm going to go for 0-0.
0-0.
0-0 and Spurs to win on penalties.
Dull
That's
affair.
Yeah. I'm going to go for PSG. I think Spurs are going to sit really deep. Maybe even a back three. You never know with Kevin Danso, Kuti Romero, and Mickey van der Ven. And I think that might serve us better in this game if we do go for a back three with Porro and one of Spencer or Doggy as wing backs. Maybe even 2 sitting players ahead of the back three as well, and like Bentancur and Paulinho, and just have 3 up top. Or was it 2 up top? I got actually through 3-5-2,
3-5-2.
I would go 3-5-2 with...
Maybe Frank's cooking up some special formation for tomorrow.
I would actually go 3-5-2, and in the forward line have one of Solanke and Richarlison with Kudus. That's what I would do.
I wonder if Frank is cooking up something special. You never know. He's always got something cooking. I wonder if he's planned for something. He's studied PSG and he's like, all right, we're going to play this way tomorrow. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, I would go 3-5-2, and I'm just going to predict a very, very deluded 0-0 and Spurs to take it home on penalties. And me and Sim are going to be there to witness Spurs lift yet another European trophy.
Will there be tears?
Not this time.
No
Not
tears?
this time. Well, there were no tears last time, to be fair. But look, there's just going to be pure celebration, and we can party the night away in Udine. So, yeah, that's the match preview. I want to know your score predictions in the comment section below. Do you think Spurs stand a chance tomorrow night? Please do let us know.